Steve McQueen co-stars with Dustin Hoffman in the compelling film Papillon, the story of a man sentenced to life imprisonment in the infamous French penal colonies for a murder he did not commit. The astonishing larger-than-life film of Papillon is on New Year's Day at 9:05.
Entertainment for Saturday evening on BBC One. At 6 o'clock, seasonal fun and games in It's a Christmas Knockout. At 7 o'clock, Bugsy Malone, the spectacular all-children gang warfare slapstick musical.
Your name Robinson? You work with Fat Sam?
The gangster flavor continues at 8:30 with Dick Emery.
Georgie! Sir Kenny!
The breathalyzer alone is not in itself.
We should just change channels like everybody else.
At 9:35, Penelope Keith stars in On Approval, the classic comedy of four people who decide on an unusual engagement in Scotland.
I suggest that you and I, on Thursday night, by the midnight train, travel there for 1 month.
Well, that sounds delightful, but with what particular object?
To all intents and purposes, we will spend a month alone together as married people.
At 11:05, the start of an international golf challenge with the men versus the women. Join BBC One for entertainment on Saturday evening.
What an intensely good idea.
I'm glad you like it.
In 50 minutes, we take a sleigh ride north from London to Birmingham for Boxing Night at the Mill. First on BBC One, with the time just coming up to 10:58. It's time for the news and sport with Jan Leeming.
Christmas messages of good hope from American hostages in Iran. A Christmas party for Stacey Nelson safe and well after her kidnapping. A footballer twice wiped off the score sheet. And the London policeman paralysed by a bullet from desperate criminals. President Carter says he's reassured to know that all the American hostages in Iran are alive and well, but it's insulting and criminal that they're still held prisoner. The president spoke to reporters after seeing the pictures now released by Iranian TV. He said he was especially pleased that Algerian diplomats had seen all 52 hostages. The pictures the president saw were of the hostages attending a Christmas service with the Armenian Bishop of Tehran. Today, Iranian television sent more pictures, this time with messages for their families from several of the hostages.
First, I would like to send my love to my wife Barbara and my two children, Alexander and Ariana. My attitude is positive, and although I can't be with you this holiday season, I'm with you spiritually. To my dear mother, I want you to know that my thoughts are with you, were with you during Rosh Hashanah and Hanukkah, and to the happy memories that we have shared as a family together.
I would like to say hello to my family and friends in the United States and to wish them a happy holiday season. I would like to tell them that I am doing well and that my health continues to be good. I've been exercising regularly and have not been ill since I've been a hostage.
I'm feeling good, and I've lost weight, for which I'm grateful. Anne and I keep busy every day. We're reading and studying faithfully, and I love you all very much, and I look forward to being with you, hopefully, as soon as we can. Merry Christmas.
Marjorie, my love, sorry to miss Christmas again, and second anniversary that we have spent apart. Maybe with a little luck we'll spend our silver wedding anniversary together next year. I'm proud of the way that you've coped with the problems during the past year. And all the children, you have all my love as always. I've been extremely pleased with the academic progress that all of you made during the past 12 months. God bless you all. I love you much.
Hi, Connie and Scott. As you can see, I'm healthy and well, so don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine. And Scott, I expect you to continue the good work in school and help Mom around the house. And don't forget to feed the wild birds this winter. They'll probably be getting hungry.
Meanwhile, there are hopes that the 4 British prisoners in Iran will soon get a visit, perhaps at a special service on Sunday. The representative sent by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Mr. Terry Waite, arrived in Tehran today and was courteously received by the Iranians. He's carrying messages and gifts for the 4 Britons, including pictures of a new grandchild for the missionaries, Dr. and Mrs. Coleman. The owner of one of Barcelona's leading restaurants has been giving a special party for Stacey Nelson, the 7-year-old girl who's been reunited with her parents after being abducted in Spain. And the family have decided that despite it all, they're going to continue their world tour. Bill Hamilton spent today with the Nelsons.
It was the Christmas present so many had hoped and prayed for. Little Stacey Nelson, clutching a doll given to her by the Spanish police, reunited with her parents at the door of the bus from where she'd been abducted by a German tourist who'd won over the trust of her family. For 5 days, Stacey had been kept prisoner in a vehicle her abductor had stolen. She'd been bruised and sexually assaulted, but now, the nightmare finally over, she could recall how she'd tried to escape.
We weren't very far from Barcelona and it stopped at a bar to buy some beer and I tried to run away and I went the wrong way and I was going past the bar and he was in there and he came out and grabbed me.
The story of little Stacey's abduction and subsequent happy reunion with her parents has made such an impact in Barcelona that the Spanish people have responded with unbelievable generosity. Tonight, Stacey was the guest of honor at a special Christmas celebration given by the owner of a big Barcelona restaurant.
During all these days, we had only one wish: to get Stacey alive, safe with you. Merry Christmas.
Throughout the day, telephone calls and presents have been arriving from all over Catalonia for the girl who won over so many Spanish hearts. Mr. Nelson, can I ask you, what are your feelings tonight?
It's just a tremendous Christmas, and how fantastic the Spanish people really are. They've been tremendous. What more can a man ask? We feel that the whole world has been praying for us and the prayers are answered, and this is the utopia.
Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas, dear Tracy, Merry Christmas to you.
Soviet leaders have been talking to Poland's foreign minister. Mr. Józef Čirek arrived in Moscow last night on an official visit to the Kremlin. Today, he and the Soviet President, Mr. Brezhnev, issued a joint statement. It denounces efforts by imperialists and reactionaries to subvert communist rule in Poland and interfere with its relationship with other countries in the Eastern Bloc. In northwest India, a protest march by thousands of farmers ended with the arrest of several national leaders of opposition parties. The farmers set out nearly 3 weeks ago to march across Maharashtra state to the capital, Nagpur. They want higher prices for their crops. As they assembled in the city centre, police made baton charges and say they arrested 5,000 of the demonstrators. Zimbabwe has been celebrating its first peaceful Christmas for many years. The army has been keeping rival guerrillas apart, and there have been no reports of any killings. And as well as peace, there's been some prosperity, as Phillip reports.
This year in Zimbabwe, they're celebrating the sort of Christmas they could only dream about during the long Bush War. Sanctions and military call-ups have finished. Most of the guns have been put away. The booming economy sent Zimbabweans on a Christmas spending spree that broke all records. Shoppers bought a third more goods than a year ago. Factories are on overtime, and the harvest looks promising. More blacks have more money in their pockets than ever. For many Zimbabweans, this bountiful Christmas is worth making a song and dance about. Out here in the shanty towns near Salisbury, there's not much to celebrate. These people had hoped a new black government would relieve them of some of their misery. But instead of taking from the rich and giving to the poor, Mr. Mugabe's government seems set on creating new wealth, and that takes time. And so does the establishment of genuine peace and stability. This peacekeeping force from the National Army has spent Christmas trying to keep the rival guerrilla armies from killing each other. Since independence, faction fighting has left nearly 100 dead and 1,000 injured. That makes foreign investors wary and frightens some whites so much they take flight. About 2,000 left for Christmas holidays, never to return. Zimbabwe can manage without most of them, but it will be devastated by a mass exodus.
The policeman who was shot outside a West London off-licence late on Tuesday night is now off the danger list in hospital, though he's still seriously ill. Police Constable Phillip was nearby when he disturbed two young men who were attempting to raid the shop at Hayes. As he drew his truncheon, they shot him at point-blank range and kicked him as he lay on the ground. PC Olds is in Hillingdon Hospital, where today he was well enough for visitors. The bullet had entered his left shoulder, gone through a lung, touched the spine, and is still lodged nearby. His central nervous system is damaged, and he's paralysed from the chest down. Doctors don't know how permanent his injuries are. The police are still looking for his attackers, whom they've described as very desperate criminals. Now, with news of today's sport, beginning with First Division Soccer, here's Michael Blakey.
The biggest crowd of the season, over 57,000, watched Manchester United play out a goalless draw with the champions and league leaders Liverpool. But that point was enough to keep Liverpool at the top of the table. Aston Villa needed a 2-0 win to go back on top, but they beat Stoke by 1-0. Ipswich had a 2-0 win over Norwich. Brazil and Walk got the goals. Arsenal could manage only a 2-2 draw at Crystal Palace, but Forest were back to form with a 4-1 win at Wolves. Mike Flanagan was one of 3 former Crystal Palace players who turned out for Queen's Park Rangers this morning for their match with the leaders of the second division, West Ham. West Ham in the claret and blue came to Loftus Road with a 5-point lead at the top of the second division, but they've had a poor record against Rangers at the West London ground. They had the ball and the goalkeeper in the back of the net, but the referee refused to give a goal. Rangers had a poor first 30 minutes, and then Steinrod looked certain to score until Martin floored him. Steinrod appealed for a penalty, but after booking Martin, the referee ordered a free kick, and then came an unusual spell for Mike Flanagan. He thought he'd scored from the free kick, but Tilton was given the credit, 1-0 to Rangers. In the second half, Flanagan thought he'd scored again. The early work in the patient build-up was done by Steinrod. Rangers worked the ball along the penalty box and back again. Eventually the chance fell to Flanagan. He was sure he'd slipped the ball under Parks, but the goal was given to Tony Terry, so 2-0 to Rangers. Flanagan wasn't to score, but he'd helped to make the first 2, and he certainly made the third. Steinrod scored it 6 minutes from time, so 3-0 to Rangers and a surprise setback for West Ham. West Ham's lead is now cut to 3 points. Swansea had a home win over Bristol Rovers. Chelsea went down 2-0 at Luton. Notts County's game with Cambridge was postponed. In the 4th division, 19-year-old Mark Sanford continued his remarkable run of success since he came into Aldershot's first team at the start of the month. He's scored in every game, and today he scored all 4 in Aldershot's 4-0 win over Hereford. And there was plenty of excitement in the King George VI chase at Kempton this afternoon. A 20-length lead by Anna Glogg's daughter turned into a neck-and-neck battle between 3 horses in the closing stages. Peter Bromley is the commentator.
Silverbuck has Night Nurse again as a challenger. Night Nurse persistent on the stand side, but Silverbuck has the lead at the last. Silverbuck, Night Nurse is down. Night Nurse is down at the last. Anna Glove's daughter is the pursuer. Tommy Carmody nearly falls off. Perhaps he'll now put his stirrups down a bit. But Silverbuck is going to win it. Silverbuck wins for the second year running by about 5 lengths from Anna Glove's daughter. Diamond Edge runs on to be third, staying on.
So a victory for the second year running for Silverbuck, and the 3rd year in a row for the jockey Tommy Carmody. Anna Glogg's daughter was second at 5-1, and Diamond Edge third at 11-4.
In the Hertfordshire village of Redbourne, the traditional Boxing Day hare hunt went ahead today, but protesters turned up, even though the village had voted in a referendum to allow the hunt on the common.
The Aldenham Harriers have been pursuing hares for over a century, and that's quite long enough as far as their opponents are concerned. They tried to ban the hunt from meeting here on Redbourne Common in a unique referendum.
Morning.
But a distinct majority of villagers voted to allow the tradition to continue. Protesters say it's unfair to the hare.
How do you react to the controversy over the hunt?
I don't react. I've hunted all my life, and I'm not going to stop. Perfectly natural country sport.
You don't think it's in any way cruel?
No.
I don't think it's natural at all to kill animals just for pleasure. If you have to kill animals to eat, that's a different thing. But to kill purely for pleasure, to me, is wrong.
Hunt saboteurs mingled among demonstrators, hoping to put hounds off the scent with chemicals, but they failed. Opponents want the harriers to chase an artificial scent instead of a live animal. But as far as today's pursuit was concerned, the hare was boxing clever and managed to outsmart the hounds.
And that's all from us. Frank Greene has tomorrow's weather. Good night.
Good evening. Well, it's been a cold day and it's going to be a cold night too, with icy roads in many places. This low brought some rain and snow to many southern and western parts on its way down southeastwards into the continent. It's going to soon get well out of the way now, taking its rain well away with it. But these fronts are coming eastwards as well, and they're going to bring some rain along. On the satellite picture taken a few hours ago, you can see that low that slipped past to the southwest of us, this thick band of cloud here, moving well away southwards now. Quite a bit of clear weather about, but you notice up in the far north still some showers. So tonight then, a frosty night over the whole country, -4 centigrade to 25 Fahrenheit, some snow showers about as well, most of them in the north and the east, but there will be one or two dotted about here and there. And as I said, very icy roads in many places and the chance of one or two mist and fog patches. The rain in the south getting away within the next hour or two. And then tomorrow, we'll have plenty of dry, bright weather over England and Wales, a fair bit of sunshine as well. Some snow showers, though, down the east coast, though most of them dying away later on tomorrow. And in the northwest, the weather turning cloudy as the day goes on. Up in Northern Ireland and Scotland, a nice dry, bright start, but rain with some sleet and snow, mostly in the hills, getting into Northern Ireland and Western Scotland in the morning and to all of the country in the afternoon.
Papillon is next Thursday on BBC One.
The nation has disposed of you. France has rid herself of you altogether.
Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen as two convicts on a journey to Devil's Island.
The butterfly. You're Papillon, aren't you?
Yeah,
That gave you life.
right to the end of the line.
Amidst the turmoil aboard the convict ship, the forger Louis Degas approaches Papillon for protection.
You keep me alive until we land in Guyana, and I'll underwrite any escape you care to arrange.
Escape for me, not for us.
You're Louis Degas. I am, sir. And this is my friend, Papillon.
We never separate old friends. Kilo 40, both of them, today's transport.
Oh, get moving!
Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman star in the powerful drama Papillon, next Thursday on BBC One.
On BBC Two now, Walter Matthau portrays a jaded movie star in George Axelrod's moving comedy The Secret Life of an American Wife. Here on BBC One, we drop into a seasonal party in Birmingham to spend Boxing Night at the Mill.